What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Considering the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we are going to talk about Oklahoma versus West Virginia, I'm sure, but it always feels weird when I forget to turn down the volume. I'm sure we're going to get into the college football playoff because I have thoughts about it. You have thoughts about it. I also got thoughts about these rankings, which really don't matter past 4, but they actually do matter all the way to 25, and we'll get into that in a bit. Also, I got a thing that you might not have considered related to Kyler Murray. The same Kyler Murray for which I'm going to come up with a t-shirt. It's going to say, yeah, it's going to say that thing. But as we get started, going to do the roll call, right? But before we, let's do the roll call and then we'll do the read. Because as you might know, we have a sponsor for the live streams. I didn't want to do a sponsored show for the live streams where I was out of town last week in Miami and Portland because, as you could see, the one in Portland kind of wasn't very good. It is bad. I actually ended it after half an hour because I was so displeased with how pixelated and laggy and just garbage it was. Folks that showed up enjoyed it because, you know, folks show up to hear me talk, not necessarily to watch me talk because this is a talk show that we do. But there are also folks that have been riding with the channel for a very long time. For the folks who didn't really get to see that for the first time, I thought it was cool. It's a really good teaching moment because that's where we were a year ago. Like, we're getting, this is sooner for now time, right? For those that don't know, I got to rock my Heber jersey, probably for West Virginia. Well, I don't know. We'll see when I rock my Heber jersey again. But it used to be trash live stream. And it was like, yo, we got to get RJ better internet connection so that live streams don't go out. And then I got hacked because Georgia fans were Georgia fans. And there's a long story there, but OG RJ live stream, that's where we were. Wayne, appreciate the $10 super chat. So let's do Miles Montoya. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. So, yeah, let's do the read after we do the roll call. So, Graham, what's good? Steelboy, what's good? Bobby Pierce, what's good? Quasar, I see you. Big game for both of us. Chihuahua Mom was good. Eric Johnston, Mike Hallegren, Devin Gilmore, Lloyd Grissom. Who else we got in here? Daniel Nober, Dukin. What's good, Dukin? Clint Johnson's in here. Sooner Sports Daily, Phil Morgan, Stephen Gordon, fighting it and almost is beating cancer. That's what's up. Dieter! What's good, Dieter? Man, Dieter's the reason why we got that really great audio for whenever Joel Klatt decides that he wants to do the show. I've asked him. I haven't got a response yet. Hopefully we can do something for the Big 12 title game. Even if we're not in it, but I hope we are in it. 702 Okie, what's good? I see you. Wayne Thompson early with Super Chat. Lamar Garrett, what's good? David Chapman's in here. Willie, what's up? Ian Littlejohn, what's good? Hunter Cabron? Hunter, I think this is the first time I've seen you. Sooner. OU Mike, what's good? You too. Willie, what's up? Eric Gamino? Yeah. Cade Mason Music, Raw Material. Josh Westcott. Chris White. Terrence Five, what's good? Joshua Rollo, what's good? Steve Lindsay! What's good, Steve? I hadn't seen you on the Twitters in a while. Hero, what's up? Jason, what's good? Laura, I see you. Let me see. Who else we get in here? Shout out to my mother who is in Massachusetts visiting my sister for Thanksgiving. No shout out to my sister because we fight. Because that's what we do. My sister's actually... I'm the least talented person in my family. Like, it's for real like that. My sister, she's got a degree in biosystems engineering. She runs like a hospital. Her husband actually has a Ph.D. in computer science. I can't even compete with that side of the family, so I don't. I don't even try. I don't even go out. Like, I ain't even been up there. That's where we at right now. I ain't even been up there, right? And also, shout out to my girlfriend Laurel. Excuse me. Shout out to my girlfriend Laurel. I don't know where that came from. Who I hope is taking a bath right now. Yeah. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. So now let's do the read. You know, this live stream, this live show is presented by thefanstop.com. I've worn the t-shirt before, probably going to wear the t-shirt again. When I wear the t-shirt, I'll just tell you. Because a lot of folks want to know where I get my t-shirts, and I like to make my own t-shirts because I got a t-shirt fetish. As you can see, I like the Jordan gear as well. You'll see more of that because somebody sent me some gifts, and that's cool. With Christmas just around the corner, why don't you eliminate the dreaded I don't know what they like question for that special someone, especially if that special someone is a Sooners fan. Sign up for the OU Sooners T-shirt of the Month Club and start receiving a new and unique design delivered right to your front door with free shipping and both standard and premium packages. You are sure to be a hit with the gift that keeps giving from thefanstop.com. Use the promo code RJ Young, that is all caps, no periods, RJ Young, to receive 10% off your first order. And I encourage you to do this because, well, just talking with the FanStop guys, they're very cool. Trying to do something where they kind of just present all the live streams, which I'm a fan of, right? So we just have because I like the one presenting sponsor for, the preview shows and the post-game shows. And I get a lot of questions about where I get my t-shirts. And now I can be like, yo, I get some of my t-shirts, obviously not the Jordan ones, but I get some of my t-shirts from the FanStop. And actually, I've had some folks that sign up using the promo code RJ Young who are like, yo, that t-shirt that you wore for the Bedlam game, that was hot. So I'm going to go get one. And they send that to you like right away, which I thought was really cool. All right, so before I get into one of my pre-scheduled rants, I'm going to take a question, see what we got here. Lloyd Grissom, starting O-line next year. You're already into that, Lloyd. Number one, if you didn't know, Bill Bedenbaugh is a semi-finalist for the Broyles Award, which is the top the top assistant coach in college football, along with a bunch of other deserving folks. They're going to whittle that list down to finalists on Sunday, but that's a really cool thing. Also, his offensive line is up for the award, which is given annually to the top offensive line in the country. So with Bobby Evans and Cody Ford probably gone. Ben Powers is gone. Drew Samia is gone, right? You return Creed Humphrey. Okay, so you're probably looking at a line that might feature Bray Walker at the left tackle position, perhaps a Darrell Simpson or something of the sort, maybe a David Swaby, we'll see, at the right tackle position. You also can get you some Adrian Ely in there along with Quinn Hayes, or Marquise Hayes. Yeah. So, I was looking at it at one point, and one of the offensive lines that I drew down, and I wish that I had brought that with me. If I'd known Lloyd was going to ask that question, I would have. It was like an average of 340 across the line, which is ridiculous. So you're not going to have a problem moving people off football next year, specifically with Bill Bedenbaugh. And I think this is an interesting point to bring up. So we'll just go straight into one of my takes. Look, I understand that a lot of folks are shaking in their boots and just really upset about the idea of Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma for an NFL head coaching job. The Cleveland Browns have expressed interest through intermediaries. It has been on the lips of those folks breaking news in the NFL about, hey, Lincoln Riley probably going to get a phone call or two. But also, these are the same folks who said that Condoleezza Rice was a serious head coaching candidate for the Cleveland Browns job. She shot it down. The Browns shot it down. And it made zero sense because as accomplished as Condoleezza Rice is, she has zero experience coaching football, let alone at the professional level. So it's just kind of a throw stuff at the wall when it comes to the Cleveland Browns head coaching job right now. And while the personnel is really sexy, it's not just Baker. It's Baker, it's Nick Chubb, it's Jarvis Landry, it's Antonio Callaway if he gets his head on straight, and it's that defense that Greg Williams has managed to build around a guy like Denzel Ward and others. James Taylor, OU basketball won today against Florida. Yeah, I did, 65-66. I saw that. So, I don't think you're going to have to worry about Lincoln Riley going to Cleveland, as sexy as the personnel is. Plus, the idea of going to an NFL job, that's a lot of work. It's actually a little bit more work than being a head coach at a place like Oklahoma where you're like, yeah, but you got to recruit 24/7, 365. Sort of. There are dead periods built in, so you can take vacations and stuff. NFL, I don't think they build in vacations for you. I think it just seems that way. But the guy that you need to keep an eye on is Bill Bedenbaugh. Okay? There's a reason why Bill Bedenbaugh is now the highest paid assistant at Oklahoma. He was the second highest behind Mike Stoops, and I think he's going to become the highest, if not the second highest, depending on who they decide to go after for defensive coordinator. And I gave some background on a candidate, that a lot of folks are interested in, and myself and Brandon John have done some reporting on. Pete Golden is the co-defensive coordinator at Alabama. So I encourage you to check out that video if you want to know more about that dude. Very interesting background, really cool come up. But Bill Bedenbaugh's the guy to keep an eye on, flat out. The way that he's rebuilt like people forget, the offensive line was asunder. It was in shambles. You had 2 coaches for 1 offensive line. Not unlike you have 2 coaches for 1 defensive line that ain't very good at OU. I think those things go hand in hand. You just got to shell out a little bit more to go get a guy that knows what they're doing. And in Bill Bedenbaugh, you got a guy that turned Gabe Alkerd into an All-American, also rebuilt this offensive line into something that is mean and nasty and basically personifies himself. And I think that's the thing to take away from most coaches is they are able to put their attitude and their personality on whatever it is they're coaching, Lincoln Riley included there. So Bill Bedenbaugh is not just a top offensive line coach. He's learned from some of the top offensive coordinators and play callers in all of football, with Mike Leach, with Dana Holgorsen, now with Lincoln Riley. And if he wanted to be an offensive coordinator, and I'm not saying that he does, he would probably have that opportunity. But what you need to keep an eye on is an NFL team like the Dallas Cowboys, whose offensive line is just turned into mush. They fired the offensive line coach. It's gone so bad because it was historically good, and now it's not historically bad. It just ain't very good. And for how much they use Ezekiel Elliott to run the ball as a feature back, you got to have more than just Zach Martin doing the deed out there. So it wouldn't shock me to find out that somebody was interested in Bill Bedenbaugh. But I think Bill Bedenbaugh is extremely happy at Oklahoma. I want to say that. That's what I've heard from everyone. I just thought that it would be the guy to leave a job would not be Lincoln Riley. It would be Bill Bedenbaugh because, I mean, there's nowhere for Lincoln Riley to go. You could say they could go to the NFL, but that would be him basically turning down the best job and turning down the second best job in college football. Alabama's a really good job right now. Come to think of it, Clemson's become a good job, but that's because Dabo's there, and when Nick Saban retires, Dabo's probably going to go to Alabama. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So now that I got that take, we're going to look for a question. And there are no super chats with questions. So, gonna look for one of these that doesn't necessarily, or I'll just wait for a super chat to come up. Football coaches get a month for a dead period. Yep, that's true. And they get it in the summer, which is, I mean, man, actually, no, you get it. Yeah, you don't get it in the summer. You get, because you're in preseason camp. Yeah, I see what you said there, Lamar, though. Lamar's familiar. Let's see, Bill is the coach. I'm scared to leave him because getting an O-line coach is one that's needed before anything. True story. With Bruce Kittle and Bobby Jack Wright coaching the offensive line, Oklahoma wasn't very good, y'all. Like, that's just the plain and simple truth. Rachel Herrera, I'm nervous for this game on Friday. As am I. I mean, you should be. You should be. I mean, ESPN's FPI, and I'm not saying that it's a great predictor, but it's a predictor, has it 51% to Oklahoma, 49% to West Virginia. I think the spread is like 1.5 points. I called it a pick'em. And because it's in Morgantown. That's the thing, right? And while we know the offense is going to put up 50, because that's what they're averaging, 50 a game, defense is liable to give up at least that. So might be one of those things where it comes down to who has the ball last. And frankly, Oklahoma could get the ball with like 2 minutes left to go, score in 30 seconds, and then West Virginia march down the field, go for 2. And we've seen West Virginia get into situations where that's what they got to do. You know, they've been in those high-pressure situations a little bit more than Oklahoma has in recent memory. And by recent memory, I mean the last month between Oklahoma State and Texas. They pulled it off against Texas. They did not against West Virginia, or against Oklahoma State, excuse me. So you should be nervous. And I'm telling everybody you should be nervous. But if you're a neutral, and not a lot of neutrals watch this channel, but if you're a neutral, this is a game for you to watch. This might be the best college football game played all weekend, because Michigan and Ohio State figures to be, maybe it's all right. It's strength against strength, Michigan's defense versus Ohio State's offense, but Ohio State's offense showed it can't run the football against good teams. And I don't even think Purdue's that great. You know, it's just hard. And their defense also showed that they can't stop the run, and that's what Michigan likes to do best. They like to give Karan Higdon the rock and just let him open up the play-action pass for Shea Patterson to do whatever it is Shea Patterson does back there. Sometimes that dude, I swear, he's got some Chad Kelly in him. but you should be, right? The USC Notre Dame game, I don't think it's going to be as close as anybody thinks it's going to be. I think Clay Helton has to win that game to keep his job, and I don't even think that would save his job. Plus, you got what? After this, you got Florida State and Notre Dame? Mate? Nah, man. I don't see it. So Bama's going to stay unless Georgia beats Alabama, because the scenario would have to work out for this. Now that we've gone from Oklahoma, West Virginia into just what the scenarios could be that work for Oklahoma, Ohio State has to beat Michigan, right? This is assuming Oklahoma beats West Virginia. Ohio State has to beat Michigan, period, right? Because if Bama beats Georgia, yeah, that knocks them out of a playoff spot, but that doesn't knock any of the top 4 out. So you need to get one of these top 4 teams take an L, right? But Bama taking an L doesn't help you, right? That just gets Georgia into the playoff, maybe even ahead of a Michigan at this point. Clemson, they can lose the ACC title game and still get in because the selection committee has already showed we don't care if you won your conference championship if we think you're good. And I hate that. But also gets into this idea of national champions, okay? Which is my next rant. Or take or rant, whatever you want to call it. But I'm looking for a question before I get on that. What's the difference between defense and special teams? Okay, so the defense is a different personnel grouping. Special teams is made up of both offensive and defensive players. It's usually your best players play special teams. It used to be this foregone conclusion that you have your scrubs play special teams, but when folks found out that you could actually turn the tide of a football game and score points with Beamer ball, with what Frank Beamer was doing at Virginia Tech, they were like, maybe you should use more starters when we're playing special teams in punt block, in kickoff return, in kickoff, so that we have more opportunities to make plays with our best players, which is why CeeDee Lamb is back there returning punts and not, say, Charleston Rambo, right? It's not that Charleston Rambo's bad, it's that CeeDee Lambo is better. So that's the difference, is personnel groupings and when you're out there. So you'll have your best defensive players, you also have some of your best offensive players playing special teams. The only time that doesn't really happen is with feature running backs, quarterbacks, and offensive linemen. But there are lots of offensive linemen that play on field goal units, right? It's because it's your best guys for that job. That's the major difference. Let's see. Okay, so I took that question. Now, I'm going to talk about championships for a second here, okay? The college football playoff is going to give us a national champion with its 2 semifinals and its final. It is a system for which the NCAA and the member institutions have decided is a good way, one of the best ways, to distinguish who is the best football team in the land. Now, that holds up if you get into the college football playoff and if you are deserving and if you benefit from recognizing that winner as the national champ. It does not hold up if you are UCF. Why wouldn't it hold up for UCF, who doesn't have a prayer of getting into the college football playoff? Because they went undefeated. That's why they're a 2017 national champ too. I mean, folks call it a fake national championship, but Alabama has 5 fake national championships. I mean, Oklahoma just doesn't go as far as to claim what are called unclaimed national titles because they don't feel that they deserve them, right? UCF clearly thinks they deserve national titles, and more than that, they want an opportunity to prove it in the college football playoff, but until then, they're content to just say we're the 2017, 2018 national champs because we didn't lose, right? And they got a point there because they did beat everybody on their schedule. It's just that beating everybody on your schedule, if your schedule is soft, is weak, is decaf, ain't gonna get you into the recognized form of determining a national champ, and that is the college football playoff. Because factors other than just wins and losses are taken into account. It is who you play, it is what conference you play in, it is how difficult your schedule is, it is how you held up against some of the best competition in football. This is why the college football playoff would tell you that Texas A&M deserves to be ranked as a 4-loss team. They have losses against number 1, Alabama, number 2, Clemson, number 18, Mississippi State, and unranked Auburn, who has shown that they can knock somebody off. Same is true of like an Iowa State who is 6-4, right? All of their losses have come to teams that were once ranked in the Associated Press poll, right? TCU was ranked. Oklahoma is ranked. Texas is ranked. They got a win against a good West Virginia team, right? You know, I mean, who else did they lose to? Iowa. Iowa was ranked, right? So, I mean, it's strength of schedule for Iowa State is number 3. They have the 3rd toughest strength of schedule in the country, and their schedule is made up of like 9 Big 12 games. For all the folks who want to keep saying that the Big 12 is soft and that it's really it's not hard to win in this league. Okay, tell it to Iowa State, who's run through the buzzsaw, right? Texas has a number 7. Like, they're the number 7 team when it comes to strength of schedule. That's another reason why they're ranked as a 3-loss team. It's also telling you what the college football playoff takes into consideration, probably even more than we would like, which is strength of schedule. They take the eye test, which is what they think they see on the field from these teams about whether or not they're good or bad, and they take how hard was your schedule. And the strength of your schedule changes from week to week, right? Because there are teams left on your schedule that might be better or worse than what you've played so far, and the teams behind you might be better or worse going forward. This is why I have a problem with a ranked Pitt team, right? Because they took a loss to 2-8 North Carolina, right? And now you want to tell me that what? You want to hold up the Syracuse win? Syracuse got run by Notre Dame, got demolished. So I mean, you know, it's real difficult to when you're talking about putting four loss teams into a ranking. Rank Army. I made that video yesterday. You should go check that out. But UCF has a point in saying that they're a national champion. They don't get to claim that they're the national champion, and that is what is bugging them, and probably will bug them in perpetuity, because I looked at their future non-conference schedule, and they got teams like North Carolina, Louisville, Georgia Tech. Nobody cares about those teams. Go schedule Oklahoma. Go schedule Alabama. Go schedule Clemson. Go schedule Syracuse. Go schedule Florida State. Go schedule Miami. Go schedule Washington. Schedule some teams that matter and that everybody else says, hey, that team on your schedule, that's a legit schedule. That's why Oklahoma State announced that it's going to have a home and home with Oregon, and people flip their minds over there at Stillwater when Oklahoma's like, we did that in 2007. So? Because Oklahoma State has now recognized that if they don't put power conference teams on their non-conference schedule, nobody's going to take them seriously either. Baylor had this problem in 2011. So yeah, UCF could be 2018 national champion, but the national champion be considered Alabama, right? As salty as that makes me, and as salty as I'm sure it makes Central Florida fans, hey man, move into the ACC. It's a natural fit for you. Then you don't have to deal with this anymore, and you'd also catch some L's. So, where are we at? Let's see. Yep, let's do another read, and then we'll take on another question, because I'm serious about this FanStop sponsorship, if you haven't noticed. So I want to tell you what you're getting, and I want you to use the promo code RJYoung. So, read. With Christmas just around the corner, why don't you eliminate the dreaded I don't know what they like question for that special someone? Sign up for the OU Sooners T-shirt of the month club and start receiving a new and unique design delivered right to your front door. With free shipping and both standard and premium packages, standard is like $20 a month. You are sure to be a hit with a gift that keeps on giving from thefanstop.com. Use promo code RJYoung, all caps, no periods, one word, to receive 10% off your first order, right? And I think that goes into like the first year. I think it's 10% off for like each month throughout the year. So you essentially get a free t-shirt, because I actually don't know how they're going to make money off of this, but they assure me that they are. Because yeah. So use the promo code. Go steal from them. I'm joking. Don't steal from them, but use the promo code and order the shirt. Okay, so Phil Paxton, defensive recruiting news. Oh, so I got that. I was thinking I'm going to do that video for tomorrow, but you got 3 Mater Day kids that are in play. One of them is committed, 2020 cornerback Darian Green Warren. Shout out to his dad, Martin. been committed for months now, since July, and he's so excited about it, right? And they're watching the defensive coordinator news and whatnot very closely. You also got Jeremiah Criddle, who is on line one. He's committed to Oregon, and early signing period is on December 19th. But he liked what he heard and what he saw when he took his official to Oklahoma for Bedlam. And another Mater Day kid that I think it's just an outside shot, but the fact that Oklahoma is still coming out of his mouth is something. Elias Ricks is one of the top DBs in the 2020 class. I got to see him up close at the opening final. My goodness, he is what you're looking for. He is what the SEC calls a cornerback or a safety. He's all of 6'3", 6'4". He's enormously long. He can move well. You know, I saw him get to go up against Theo Weiss and those guys, and I mean, he held his own. But on his list, you got teams like Ohio State and LSU, and I think he's interested in checking out Oklahoma. But I got to believe that Ohio State, which puts defensive backs into the league at a flurry pace, and LSU, who puts defensive backs in the league at a flurry pace, yeah, they got to have the edge on you right now. So that's what I got right at this moment, Phil. Let me see. Yeah, Xavier, I don't really have thoughts on OU Wisconsin for tomorrow. I've been footballing, dog. You know, I watched my first OU basketball game this morning, and what I saw was the ones look great playing defense. They don't look so great going toward the basket. I wanted Jamal Bieniemy to drive more, to force the issue against this. I hate watching a point guard back down, right? And I also thought that Jamani McNeese is low-key turned into a really great player. Like, I remember watching him up close when I was still almost pulled the cord out of the wall. That would have been bad. That would have put an end to the damn live stream right there. He was raw when he got to Oklahoma, and he's developed into a really capable center. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to at least earn a shot to play in the NBA for his defensive prowess, because he is a great rim protector. And he's become pretty good backing down and off the dribble against bigs. So I was thinking, yo, man, just run more through Jamani. I know that Christian James is a scorer, but run everything through Jamani. He's making good decisions, and he can finish at the basket. Now, the twos, there's no depth to this team. Like, that's the issue. Like, I'm watching Matt Freeman out there look lost. So, I mean, if Bo Ryan's Wisconsin is anything like Bo Ryan's Wisconsin has been, they're going to play really hard defense. They're going to feed the rock inside, and they're going to punish you down low. So, I mean, I think Wisconsin's going to win. I don't want them to win. Of course not. But what I know about Wisconsin, what I saw from this OU team against this Florida team, even though they got the win at 65-60, it's going to be rough. You know, getting to 20 wins with this team is going to be tough, and you're going to have to do a lot of that on the front end in non-conference. Okay, that's my OU basketball take for the day. What else we got in here? We want to be in the ACC. No, we don't. The ACC doesn't even want to be in the ACC. You know, you just want to go to a conference where they're going to take you seriously. Like, if you're talking about being taken seriously, it's the SEC at number 1, it's the Big 10 at 2, and then it's like Big 12 or ACC, depending on who you talk to, and then it's the Pac-12, right? And I say Big 10 or Big 12 or ACC because, outside of Clemson, you don't really have a lot to show. You can't point to Notre Dame because they ain't even in your conference. They just play people on your schedule. It's like having Notre Dame in the ACC is like having a boyfriend who shows up to just date you and then leave. Doesn't pay your bills, doesn't take you out for dinner, doesn't bring you flowers, doesn't put in for your kids, doesn't put in for your baby mama support, doesn't put in for car seats, doesn't put in for cable, doesn't take care of the lawn care, doesn't feed the dog, doesn't sift the cat box, doesn't do any of the things that you would expect, you know, a good boyfriend or significant other to do. They just show up, eat your food, take what they want, and leave. That's Notre Dame to the ACC, and I don't understand why they continue to let them do that. I honestly think that Notre Dame should be one of these teams that's outlawed from playing in the college football playoff until they join a conference, because this is ridiculous. Everybody else has to be in a conference. Literally everybody else. Why not Notre Dame? Okay? I can't with these Notre Dame and Michigan, folks. I just can't. I hate it. Like, something about, privilege and not really working for a living just kind of oozes from them. And I'm not sure that's true, but see, Laurel is dunking on me because I had OU basketball thoughts. I got thoughts about everything. I'm thinking about having like another channel where I just put RJ Sports thoughts that necessarily aren't OU related, but then I'm like, well, whatever. Who is most likely to be Oklahoma's DC? I mean, me. Nah, man, come on, Lau. Look, go check the board. Brandon Drum has been doing a lot of reporting on this. I've done a little bit to basically pool our resources, and I made a video today about a guy that's been mentioned. Come on, man. Stay woke. Let's see. What teams will make the New Year's Six Bowl? Right now, it'd be Georgia, Oklahoma, LSU. LSU at number 2 is garbage. I hate that. This is ridiculous. 2 losses. Skunked by Alabama. Skunked. Did not score a point. And I get it. Offense ain't very good, but the defense is supposed to be great. Defenses that are great score points. Check out the Chicago Bears. That's a great defense. They're scoring points. 2,000 Ravens. Don't tell me LSU deserves to be in the top 10 with 2 losses. If I was a Washington State fan, I'd be livid. As an Ohio State dude down the road, he is absolutely pulling his hair out because he's like, our resume is like Oklahoma's resume. And we got a better win than they do. We got a worse loss too. So like, we're even. How come Ohio State is ranked 10 behind UCF, Washington State, and LSU? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dog. This committee tripping because this committee won't rank Army. Army got 2 losses. One of those losses came at the front of the year against Duke. And Duke ain't terrible, right? Ain't good, ain't terrible. The other loss, overtime to Oklahoma. Away as the visiting institution. And all they've done since then is reel off wins. They're heading into Army versus Navy looking for a 10-win season. And this committee wants to pretend like they don't really play ball. And I wouldn't necessarily have a real issue with this if I didn't see 5 4-loss teams in this playoff ranking. And then Utah State, who I get is 10-1. But Utah State's strength of schedule is 121. Army strength of schedule is 101. So you're telling me that you're penalizing Army for having a loss to Oklahoma. And you put Utah State in there for what? For 1 loss? Come on, man. Get out of here with that. This committee, I don't know what they're really thinking about. Let me see. So, Steven, I'm going to hold on to that, the sermon news, for tomorrow's video. Yeah, I'm going to hold out. I don't want to get that one up. But if you check the board, you probably know what's going on. But if you needed to freak out, Steven, I would tell you that you needed to freak out. All right, there you go. What else we got here? BYU and Army. What? What are you talking about? How is recruiting going for football? I did that earlier, dog. I mean, I'm hoping to put together a video for Thanksgiving tomorrow to, give y'all an opportunity to have something to look forward to so that the Thanksgiving post does not suck, right? Because that's kind of the business that we're into, right? Have a take, don't suck. Jim Rome said that. I believe it. Probably need to put it on a shirt or like put it on, I don't really have a staging area. Like, this is what I got. But I need to put it somewhere because I really like that because, it's one of the reasons why I do as much research as I do to dig. And, everything has layers, right? It's not as easy as to do what, some radio hosts do around, OKC and just kind of get up there and start talking about Jenny Craig and, what your wife's workout regimen is like and bad minor league baseball stories. No, man, I work hard at it. So, have a take, don't suck. People tell me my takes suck all the time, and I'm like, you didn't listen to the video. I don't really drop a dud. I got predictions that are wrong, but I don't drop a dud when it comes to takes. That's serious. See, Laurel is trying to get y'all some sermon news, and I'm not gonna bite. They need to make at least an 18 playoff, and the teams need to be chosen straight from the computer, no human input. Lies, Quasar. Lies. They did that once. The computer models are the reason that we have so many human beings having control over the playoff system. You don't remember 98, 99, 2000. You don't remember the BCS and the amount of input that came from computer models and how people were absolutely just pissed, just mad and flipping tables because these computer models didn't watch football games, right? You would see teams that were ranked stupidly high and you're going, but that team sucks. Like, they ain't played nobody. We get the statistics, but they ain't played nobody and they're trash. And then came up with this idea for a selection committee where it's like, yeah, we're going to have a group of people in a room who watch football, who like football, who are ADs, former head coaches, and media types, and we're going to lock them in a room for lunch and make them hash out who the top 25 teams are, which sounded like a really great idea on paper. And then everybody walks in with their own biases. Okay? Now, folks who are directly affiliated to a school, they're apparently not in the room when you're having these conversations about schools that they have an affiliation with. So like Frank Beamer leaves the room. Oklahoma is in the conversation. Same thing with Joe C. But obviously, you're not digging so deep into this because here's the thing that I don't think people take into account when you're looking at these committees. They were born and raised somewhere. And a lot of the folks on this committee were born and raised in the South. Okay? Where high school football, college football are king. All right? I'm one of these folks. Like, I would admit to it. But I also grew up at a time when the SEC wasn't all that. I grew up at a time when the SEC might have been on par with what the Big 12 is now, close to the ACC, honestly. Where it was just kind of, we're going to run the ball, 3 clouds of dust, and it is boring. It is so boring. So, like, when Steve Spurrier got there at Florida and started scoring points, I was going, oh my God, awesome. This is great. And that was my first introduction to Bob Stoops. But I digress. Point is, nobody wants a computer model to have a say in what we're doing. We did that once. Nobody liked it. We hated it. What we need is a 16-team playoff. 1 versus 16. You get home games. Forget your non-conference schedule. Forget your bowl games. Play 10 games. The top 16 seeds get in. Right? That means that all these teams that have 1 loss or are undefeated, like UCF, have an opportunity to get in there. Period. Right? I mean, and you can even make some guarantees. Like if you win your conference, your Power 5 team, and you win your conference, you get in. But the 18 playoff, I don't know why y'all always stop there. Like y'all think that you're going to dilute a playoff. Have you seen high school football? Have you seen the NBA? Have you seen Major League Baseball? Have you seen any other sport? Honestly, even the FCS has a 16-team playoff. You don't hear anybody yelling about how bad that is. Get off your 18 playoff perch, okay? Let the little guys have an opportunity to win a national championship. That's what we teach kids growing up, don't we? You know, all the folks in here who dig on Hoosiers, this is y'all story. This is what y'all live for. A little team doing something. Now, Hoosiers would have got toasted by Crispus Attucks, but that's a different story altogether now, isn't it? So I don't want to hear it. Dieter, what's good? We need 16 teams. Sorry, late. You took my train of thought. Oh, no, you're good, Dieter. But 16 teams. You know, we don't need the Alamo Bowl. We don't need the Valero Bowl. We don't need the Tax Slayer Bowl. We don't need the Music City Bowl. We don't actually need any of these bowls. You know, like, I like the Sugar Bowl for what it stands for, Rose Bowl too, whatever. But at the end of the day, less about who is presenting as the sponsor of a bowl game and more about figuring out who the definitive national champion is and what is fair. Come on, man. How come so many college football fans are against fair? You know, I mean, everybody wants to point to, well, they're cheating. Never want to look at that y'all might be cheating and not know it. You know, want to look at, well, they didn't play nobody. And LSU's like, yeah, but we played everybody. You know, I mean, come on now, just make it fair. Let everybody in who deserves to be in. Let's do this the way men do this, which is scoreboard. That's the thing that I hate most about this. Oklahoma could finish the season undefeated at home. Could finish the season undefeated on the road. Could win a Big 12 championship and still not have an opportunity to play for a national championship. You know, and I get it. The argument holds that if you want to play in a national championship, it's a Power 5 team, don't lose. I get it. But there are only 2 teams that are going to do that, which is why, you know, people say it. Still, it would be great to see these 16 teams that are ranked now, top 16, get into the playoff and beat each other up. That would be great. That's what fans deserve. But we don't write the rules because we don't have the money. That's what it comes down to. You know? And I hate that. I hate that. All right, I'm looking for a question here. Sierra, reading Let It Bang and loving it, fam. Hey! Appreciate that. If you haven't read Let It Bang, why? Do you hate me? If you subscribe to the channel, you haven't bought my book. You know, come on now. That's actually what I do. I write things. I know my tweets are trash, but, you know, they pay me a living wage to write stuff down. I'm pretty good at it. You got reviews that say it. They flew me to Portland and Miami because it's a big deal. Buy the book. Buy the book. Audiobook, ebook, hardback. Hardbacks are important. I love hardbacks. Buy the book. You know? Appreciate that, Sierra. What else we got in here? Jonathan Valencia. There's a name. Do you think there will be a Red River rivalry rematch in the Big 12? God, I hope so. I hope so. I hope so because that would mean Oklahoma beat West Virginia. And I hope so because I'm tired of Texas fans' mouth. I really am. Every time I put Texas or Tom Herman in the title, here they come to just start yammering. You know, I mean, you got 3 losses. What are you yammering for? You know, I mean, I sided with you on the Bryce Hager thing. Most people did, honestly. Y'all still got something to say. Fine. Let's get them back on a neutral site and show them what happened, which is Bro, it's 21 points in 6 minutes. What do you think we're going to do with a chip on our shoulder? Yes, I hope it's a Red River rivalry tongue twister. I hope it's a Red River rivalry rematch. Say that 5 times fast. In the Big 12 title game at Jerry World. Let's make it happen. Be good for the sport. Be good for us. Let's see. All right, Lamar. Deuces. See, Dukin, what you got? Hey, Laurel, I found a bunch of old Edison t-shirts today. Memories. Yo, I'm not going to make that joke. I should, Dukin, but I'm not. I should make that joke. I should make it a y'all old joke, but I'm not. Hey, Dad, how's it going? 100, sincerely average. Your dad's in here? Okay, maybe. That's a thing. Says your tweets give me life. I'm just talking noise on Twitter for the most part. I'm just talking trash. Like, I'm just dunking on people. Like that WBD highlight dude somehow has like 300 followers and like 12K YouTube subscribers. So I'm trying to figure that out. Y'all need to tell y'all friends because there's no reason for why that dude should have more YouTube subscribers than we got. Like, okay. Y'all might need to get on that. Create some burner accounts or something. I don't know. Kim Crace. OU is the best. You think they can make the playoffs? I mean, we covered it. I mean, we're at the Lloyd portion of Dumb and Dumber where he's looking and saying, so you're saying there's a chance. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. College football talk. Hey, all right, cool. Just let me see. Tavon Austin equals Kennedy Brooks. Nah. Kennedy Brooks is a different kind of runner, but I understand why you say that because he gashes people. But Tavon Austin was living in my head rent-free for like 4 years. Like, still in there, running around. Him and Darren Sproles just torching the defense. Good God. I mean, I hope Kennedy McCoy ain't as nearly as good because they had 200-yard rushers there. RJ, it ain't age, it's the mileage. Uh-oh. Laurel in here selling wolf tickets now. Bradley Cooper. What's good? What's up, fam? It's been a while since I dropped you some cash. Appreciate that. $10 super chat. What is next on the list for what you need on the channel before you move on to a show with Joe Glad? Honestly, what I'm really just thinking about is perhaps having another microphone set up, but it's a small space, so I'm kicking that around. But we're saving up for the iMac, honestly, so that we can have even silkier, smoother live stream audio, because what it is I use a laptop to power both the microphone and the webcam and to push out the live stream. It's just a lot of stuff, right? Because one of my best friends is an IT guy, and he's like, yeah, it's just, your laptop's not built for that, And he's right, because when I got started doing this, I was still just writing stuff down. Matter of fact, my girlfriend had to loan me $500 so I could afford to get a new laptop to finish my book. That's where I was. So, I just need a new laptop. So all of this, we put in Dieter's right away because Dieter made a lump sum for that thing. And I appreciate it. But I've been using the Patreon and the Super Chat, saving it up, getting an iMac sooner or later. And then it's just about setup, like studio setup. Like I'm thinking about blowing up my comic book poster, for which Friday you're going to get to look at some behind the scenes stuff. I'm really excited about that. Put it on the wall, make some more decorations and whatnot. I got to figure out how to put Stadium Memories as a bench that he sent me somehow, but it's heavy. It's like legitimately like 20 pounds. So I don't know how to mount it. And, this is an apartment. This ain't my house. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll move the Macs are expensive. Here's a bit, bro. I appreciate that. Maybe be able to move the studio to Laurel's garage. I don't know. Our garage is full though. Jeff Bledsoe, $50. I appreciate that, dog. Jeff, what I tell folks is, when you drop Super Chat, drop me a note. Let me know what you want to talk about, if anything. Laura said, that's it. I'm feeding this chili to all the neighbors. Even the a-holes having band practice. All right. Okay. I want the chili, but if that's how you feel. Jared Alexander. All right, that's good then. Nah, I appreciate that. Can you wish me a belated happy birthday? Hey, happy birthday, Lloyd. I understand it was yesterday. I read it in the Super Chat. Nah, Lloyd's been around with the channel for a very long time. Happy birthday, Lloyd. Let's see. What else we got in here? Oh, so I put out a Twitter poll yesterday, and I asked, who would you rather have as your quarterback? It's the fourth quarter. You just got the ball back. There's 1:48 seconds left on the clock. Baker or Kyler? And many other responses that I got were, yo, man, why are you trying to divide us, RJ? And, yo, man, that's like asking me which one of my kids is my favorite. To which there were some really snarky and cool responses, like which one of them is currently sleeping. And I think Val DeLeon, who's, on the channel from time to time, she was like, nah, I can't wait to send my kids to Nana's house for the weekend. Like, y'all savage about your kids. Or there was another was like, oh, I'm not supposed to tell my kids which one's my favorite? My bad. Y'all some savage parents. But 69% of people pick Baker Mayfield to be the quarterback in that situation, which I think just speaks to what Baker had done in his career as a Sooner. 2 college football playoffs, 3 Big 12 titles, a Heisman Trophy. Up until recently, the most prolific offense in history, kind of, right? But Kyler Murray, for me, right, with the wheels and the way things break down and he's able to get out of it and make good decisions, he's still thrown he's thrown the same amount of picks as Baker this season, So, from a passing standpoint, they're both over 70%. They both complete the rock at a stupid rate. And Kyler Murray's efficiency numbers are blowing Baker's out of the water, and Baker set NCAA records with his efficiency numbers. So I would pick Kyler, but that doesn't mean I don't love Baker. From what I've seen from Kyler through 11 games, he's playing a better brand of quarterback. And you know what? Baker called it. Baker called it going away. Baker was like, people aren't ready for Kyler Murray. He said that in January after the Rose Bowl. That's what, he saw it. But then again, he saw it in the scout team all the time, right? And he's a quarterback watching a quarterback, and he's going, yeah, not only are you fine, he's going to be the best. And people were like, all right, we saw him at A&M, dog. Slow your roll. We know it's your teammate. And it's turned out to be true. So even Baker, he's like, yeah, that's what that dude does. And I think what people really jones on when you talk about Baker versus Kyler is everybody knows Baker's a football player. Everybody knows that guy's a quarterback at his core. He lives for this. This is who he is in the marrow. Kyler Murray is going to play baseball, right? I understand that he's non-committal about baseball versus football, college football versus the NFL. He's playing baseball, right? That's the contract. He plays 1 year of football. And I think that kind of, it doesn't tweak people, but, it leads people to believe that you're not all in on football because you're not. And that would get into your psyche a little bit, and I understand that. But, it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's see. What else we got in here? Trying to see if I missed Jeff Bledsoe with a comment. I don't think I did. Okay. Bobby Fry. RJ, one more. Who wins tonight? Thunder or Cupcake Golden State? I'll get to that after Super Chat, Doug. Lane in your bed. Okay. Love you, RJ, even though I'm a UT fan. Oh, wow. I don't believe in being cocky unless we're playing like Bama. I do think we can win a second time if Kyler falls off. And you'd be right there. If Kyler ain't good, it's going to be a long day for Oklahoma. Like, we try to run the ball, but we're down to, at best, 2 scholarship running backs. Yeah, I mean, Jeremiah Hall got some carries, but I don't really trust Jeremiah Hall in the way that I trust Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks, and you understand that. TJ Pledger, I hope he's ready to go, right? He might have to do a lot of work. But I understand what you're saying about being cocky as a Texas fan, and I appreciate it. And it's not that you can't be cocky, it's that I would just want him to earn it. Don't have 3 losses and be talking noise. But I appreciate the Super Chat, dog. And we got Texas and Georgia fans for the most part, and a few West Virginia fans here recently who joined the channel, and it's fun. The trash talk is fun. I just ask people to keep it clean, but it's fun. Appreciate you. Sooner fan EJ. What up, RJ? Do you see more recruits coming to the Big 12 after seeing the NFL playing more of a Big 12 style of play? Will it affect other conferences? I think that the NFL is reacting to the Big 12, not the Big 12 reacting to the NFL. Because Pat Mahomes, he came out of Texas Tech. Jared Goff came out of a system that was put in place by a former Big 12 coach, right? I mean, that's your quarterbacks. But also, Andy Reid's offense is basically Lincoln Riley's offense. Sean McVay does simple things, but he does them with the same personnel grouping. Like, you'll see 11 personnel a lot of the time, and that's one of the reasons that they're fun. But as far as will more recruits come, man, you got to have a quarterback in this league. So you're going to get some of the best quarterbacks in the country. You're going to get some of the best wide receivers in the country, perhaps better wide receivers than even quarterbacks when you're thinking about it. And you're going to get some good running backs and offensive linemen, right? Where you got a gap, right, is on the defensive side of the ball. Because who's the last first-round draft pick to come out of the Big 12 on the defensive side of the ball? I'll let somebody look that up because we got like 9 minutes left and I'm not going to look that up. But you're talking about guys like Kenneth Murray Jr., Curtis Bolton, and Joe Dineen just not getting any run, even though they got over 100 tackles this season. Because that's the perception of the league. Now, we also know that you can make a name to yourself as a defensive back, particularly if you go to Texas, right? And that's the thing that, as an Oklahoma fan, you kind of shudder about is both Chris Boyd and Caden Stearns were on the Jim Thorpe Award watch list this season, right? For which I am a selection committee member, right? So, speaking of which, if you didn't know, the finalists are Georgia's DeAndre Baker, Notre Dame's Julian Love, and LSU's Greedy Williams. All 3 of those guys are deserving candidates, and they're no-fly zones. So that's that. But for the Big 12, outside of Texas, who's really recruited great defensive backs? And you would think that this would be a place where you could turn out good defensive backs because they have opportunities to be ball hogs. But that ain't the case. The big, long dudes are going to the SEC. Some of that people believe is because they'll have a better opportunity because they won't see the kind of spread offenses that are proliferated in the Big 12. But I think it's just even more basic and simple. Alabama, LSU, Georgia put defense players into the league and in the first round, right? Name a Big 12 team that does that. Well, you could kind of point to Texas and not anybody else. I mean, I saw a couple good defensive backs come out of West Virginia a few years back. One of them plays safety at Oakland right now. I forget his name, but he was a hitter. Carl Crawford. Is it Carl Crawford? I think it's Carl Crawford. Forget Carl. Carl Joseph. That's who it was. Carl Joseph. That dude. And there was another corner, Darryl Worley out of West Virginia, who was really good. So you mean you can get them, and they're here. It's just Denzel Ward was a 3-star recruit when he was recruited to Ohio State. They turned him into a first-round draft pick. You see what I'm saying here? You got to develop the talent, and you have to identify the talent. And frankly, Oklahoma has missed on that in years past. So, long-winded answer to your question. But it's fun, right? Because this is like our radio show. Gerald McCoy was the last first-round defensive draft pick for OU. That's 2000. Yeah. When's the last time you saw a Gerald McCoy or a Tommy Harris come through here? I mean, I would make an argument for Jordan Phillips. I really would. But that's it. Honestly. You know, and think about how good and how integral Eric Stryker and Obo were. But Eric Stryker went undrafted, and Obo went in the 5th round. That ain't a good look if you're trying to recruit those guys. You know, and I understand Addison Gums blew out his knee, but also he probably went to Oregon State because he thought he might have an opportunity to get to the league. You know, that plays into it. Let me see. Laying in your bed. Oklahoma and Texas could recruit so much better if we had that SEC logo. There's a lot of people that agree with you that OU and Texas should just move to the SEC. But number one, that would give them like 14 teams. And I don't think that's what they want. Number two, I don't necessarily think that would help. I think what would help would actually be bringing Arkansas and Nebraska back into this conference. Right? Making it a true Big 12 again. And getting 2 name brands that have ties to what was once the Southwest Conference. And, you know, Arkansas would love to get back into the Big 12 because then they could go recruit Texas again. You know, that's what's holding them back. They have a hard time recruiting Texas, which is why they hired a guy from Texas. You know, Chad Morris was a great high school football coach in Texas and a pretty good coach, I want to say SMU, right? So, like, and Tulsa. So, I mean, which is my alma mater. But, you know, that's where I'm at with it. I think Scott Frost is going to turn around Nebraska. It's just, I didn't know it was going to be this hard to do it. You know, and I would love to have Arkansas and Nebraska back in the Big 12. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, we're running out of time. So we're going to say good night and happy early Thanksgiving. So if you're in the chat, say what's up. Nah, Colorado can kick rocks. So can Missouri. Adam Tom, what's good? Bobby Fry, what's good? Hyatt Sweezy, I see you. Lane in your bed, appreciate you. Jeff Bledsoe with the big super chatter, I appreciate you. Lloyd Grissom, out. Jacob Franklin's out. Quasar's out. Bradley Cooper, deuces. Nebulous, out. Frank Evans, out. Let me see. Lloyd, happy birthday. Xavier Jones is out. Dakota Green is out. Ryan Riddick, deuces. Stephen Gordon, appreciate you, fam. He's going for OKC tonight. All right, cool. David Chapman is out. Raw Material, deuces. Hunter Cameron, see you. Big Okie is out. John Doe is out. Kelvin Hicks, he made it late. Appreciate that. Father Marcus hit 2019 defensive end recruit. Xavier Jones, out. Duke it. Happy Turkey Day. Dieter Cross is out. Jacob Franklin's out. Bobby Fry. Cryptic Gumbo. Christopher Lopez. Cody Langley. What else we got in here? Anybody else? Balzar Frozenoff. Cade Mason Music. Deuces. John Doe's out. Jeff Bledsoe. I'll see you, fam. Appreciate that, Lloyd. Anybody else in here? Landing your bed is out. Rachel's out. ZSB Lou. I'll see you, fam. Crystal Calendar's out. Phil Paxton is out. Heroes out. What else we got? Anybody else? Bradley Character. Deuces, fam. Dieter Cross. Appreciate the super chat. Huge. It's been a huge super chatter. Bobby Fry's out. Micah's out. Jonathan Valencia. See you, fam. Let's see. Anybody else? All right. That's it for me. If you like the videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. I will see you tomorrow. Doses.